It is my pleasure to introduce your third speaker, who will be delivering their first speech today. As part of their Icebreaker, Ashley Castano will be discussing the topic of work-life balance.
Red light.
Through a personal experience, she will share how she recognized the tipping point of dedicating too much focus to work and how that insight led her to realign her priorities in favor of achieving a healthier balance. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Ashley Castano.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. It is a pleasure to be up here to speak in front of you today, and though my heart is racing as fast as a kid that just saw an ice cream truck down the streets, I promise I'm going to try to not speak as fast as that feels. So in college, I took a business course where I learned about opportunity costs. In short, opportunity cost is the potential benefits that a company misses out on when they choose one course of action over another. What I learned as I got older was that opportunity cost didn't just apply to business models. It actually applied to all parts of life. So our lives, as you all know, are a string of constant choices. For me, my choices began when I chose to join the Marine Corps. And I learned that sacrifice wasn't just something that was ingrained in us, it was something that we had to live with every single day. From deployments to deployments, overnight duty barracks away from the family, to contract extensions, even to the point where I had to leave my husband and my 6-month-old son here in Florida while I traveled back to finish my tour in Japan for 6 months. So when I finished out my military career, I told myself, I will always put family first. I went a very long time with not putting them first, so this was my chance. Fast forward to my civilian career now, old habits crept back up. I started saying yes to projects, yes to promotions, yes to extended hours outside of normal work hours in order to get ahead in life. What I didn't realize at the time was I was saying no to things that truly mattered. I was saying no to movie nights, no to baseball games, no to breakfast with mom at school. So, one night, it was a turning point for me. I was hanging out with my youngest. He was about 4 years old at the time. And he goes, you have a phone call. I look at my phone, and sure enough, I have a ping from work. And it's urgent, of course, naturally. So I go into the study, and I tell him, I set up the precedence that it will take me 20 minutes so that he doesn't have a meltdown. Give mommy 20 minutes, and I will be right back with you. Toddlers have zero concept of time, if you're aware. So he comes in 10 minutes later with a veterinarian bag under one arm and a stuffed animal under the other. And he looks at me, he's like, Mommy, play veterinarian with me. And I said, I'll be with you in just one moment. Mommy's finishing up something. It'll be quick. It was not quick. My quick reply turned into opening up dashboards, my laptop, reports, frantically texting my coworkers. And then 5 minutes later, my son's back inside the study again. And he tells me, Mommy, I have a stethoscope. Let's play veterinarian. I said, give me one more moment. One more moment, please. So now I'm in deep solving mode, like my life depended on it, like my job depended on it. But that's not actual, that's just my pride. Because my job never depended on me finishing up this email or figuring out the solution to this problem. But my son comes back in one more time as my anxiety is already up to here. And he's like, Mommy, are you done yet? And I look at him and snapped. Not out of anger, but sheer desperation. I looked at him and I was like, Logan, please just leave me alone for one moment and I will be with you as soon as possible. It was not soon. 40 minutes later is how long it took me to finish this project, or this email. So my son, and anybody here ever seen a toddler tantrum? Mm-hmm. So much energy in a tiny little body, they can move mountains. So he basically was a volcano that erupted, because when I said those words to him, he froze, stared at me, then flung down his toys, and till this day I can still hear the echo of the toy instruments bouncing off the tiles, the little bottles of medicine rolling to the edges of the room, and then sheer silence. And then with all the finality a 4-year-old could ever muster, he looks at me with fire in the eyes and goes, I don't want to play with you anymore. shattered, totally shattered. I eventually played with him after, but he didn't want to play that anymore. That moment, my opportunity cost, lost forever. And I had to be honest with myself and ask, will my kids want to visit me on holidays? Or are they always going to remember memories of me working or constant anxiety? And the answer was no. So I had to make a change. I had to implement several little items to regain balance, like no screens at family time, no screens at the dinner table, or any meal for that matter, or the beach, or family outings. And then there's the time off. I had 10.5 weeks of PTO at work, half of which was rolled over from previous years of not taking prompt rest. So I started taking it, and I didn't feel guilty about it. So I would take afternoons off to go take my family to the art galleries. I would take mornings off to go watch my son play the evil mirror in Snow White. I would take just mid-week beach vacations, just in the middle of the week, take a day to myself to decompress and go to the beach. If you haven't done that, highly recommend. No traffic. Little moments like that reclaimed. In fact, I'm taking PTO today. I'm snagging up my family, going to visit my sister in West Palm Beach, where I will probably reminisce on this speech and drown my regrets with a large margarita the size of my face, because that is balance. Because at the end of the day, we have to remember that success isn't about not about career milestones and achieving those. It's about witnessing life unfold, the growth of our kids, dinner conversations, laughter at brunch with friends, that good belly laugh, or even slow mornings with coffee and a good book. So I challenge and invite each of you today to find your balance, live your moments, and take your PTO. Because the work is always going to be there. But time is fleeting. Thank you, Toastmasters.